MED program first edition started in 2008. It was the programming period 2007-2013, and the maritime projects are the last issue of this programming period. This was resulting into a high number of activity, high number of projects. Of course, these projects made very many interesting findings. They created very many interesting things, but they were scattered. We didn't get the whole picture.
Desde mais ou menos a segunda, terceira convocatória de projetos, esta é a oitava, o programa começou a definir melhor aquilo que esperava obter dos projetos e de cada uma das convocatórias. E fomos arriscando sempre, com coisas que nos outros programas ainda não foram testadas.
During the programming period, we started to create different actions in order to coordinate better what's happening in the financed projects. So we started to create different profiles for projects, strategic projects for major visibility and policy impact, targeted projects with specific terms of reference to orient the project proposals. Finally, capitalization projects, which were supposed to and which were taking results of many other projects previously carried out.
Están surgiendo desde 2007 iniciativas en la Comisión Europea, y la política europea empieza a tener en cuenta que el tema marítimo no es de una política sencillamente, no es medioambiental solo, ni económica solamente, sino que tiene una visión muy integral, ¿no? Entonces, esa es la idea que con esta convocatoria se ha decidido. No solamente ver las cosas de una manera solo, transporte marítimo, por ejemplo, o riesgos marítimos, que ya tenemos proyectos así, sino vamos a coger ahora, vamos a elegir proyectos que tengan una dimensión pues más global.
We need maps for the Mediterranean, we need statistics, we need reports, we need transnational things over the programming area so that we can really have the real situation. What's happening in different maritime aspects, what's happening in the urbanization of coastlines, what is happening in maritime environmental risks and so on, and give us the transnational situation so that we can use it in the new program.
13 proyectos, cada uno con su visión temática, aunque sean complementarios todos, después necesitábamos de alguien que hiciera este trabajo de mirada más global.
This was an experimental thing for us. We said to ourselves that short projects which are concentrating on mapping, they will be left very much alone. They will be isolated, they will not have time to do many things, so they definitely need something to bring them together. And of course we didn't have any model for that, so we just created a proposal on a horizontal project.
El proyecto MarINA-Med Common Cap es una actividad transnacional de cooperación, una acción horizontal de comunicación y capitalización para los proyectos marítimos que han sido aprobados en la última convocatoria marítima integrada del programa MED.
The idea of this project is to facilitate an integrated approach and to cross opinion results between the 13 projects that were funded by the MED program.
El objetivo principal del proyecto Common Cap es desarrollar una acción conjunta para intentar, por un lado, comunicar durante la realización de estos proyectos, a la vez de producir un proceso de capitalización, entonces un intercambio a nivel de informaciones útiles de contexto, de metodologías y de resultados concretos, y de proyectar esta reflexión en el futuro.
Since the kick-off meeting that took place in Marseille in July 2014, we could foster clusterization among projects.
Everyone met everyone, so it was quite a challenge, and I think it's quite important.
We have identified that since the beginning, since the first ComCap event, that we are very close projects.
The environmental impact of a port is not strictly related to port activity, but also with city interaction. And just this was the first point of contact.
Ci siamo trovati per vedere se i due approcci di studio possono essere integrati e poter collaborare insieme.
Riteniamo che l'integrazione dei due approcci, l'approccio di Kaimas e l'approccio di Poseidon, possano effettivamente portare a una metodologia integrata più specificatamente sviluppata sulla parte del traffico marittimo, che poi possa essere esportata ad altre aree del Mediterraneo.
The projects are very different. So many projects are looking in different areas. As MED-Med, I mean, the questions it sets to itself towards where are the limits of uses. It's something that I think is very complementary to the aspirations that something like the blue growth related projects are looking into.
We're going to exchange data and information, so it's been particularly useful for networking.
It is very important to learn to understand what the other projects are doing with climate change, transport, etc. Because frankly speaking, everything is interconnected in a sea.
La sfida grossa e importante è di riuscire comunque a andare oltre la propria tematica e vedere le interazioni con gli altri progetti, come possano esserci sinergie ma anche conflitti.
Promoure aquesta cooperació i evitar la competitivitat entre les diferents, inclús àrees, regions i temàtiques a vegades. No? Hi ha temàtiques o projectes que pensen que estan com competint entre ells, no? I és trobar que realment al final els resultats que siguin complementaris i que hi hagi una cooperació entre ells.
I que sumen, treballant integradament.
Dealing with tourism, it's quite easy to find connections with other projects because tourism is quite transversal to a lot of items.
Hemos trabajado un montón, era necesario ser muy activo y muy participativo, nos ha servido para conocernos a todos y el objetivo que era crear sinergias para alcanzar ese enfoque integrado hacia el que tenemos que ir en el área marítima es imposible sin este tipo de sinergias conjuntas.
C'est toujours satisfaisant et enrichissant de voir quand même presque 100 personnes venues de toute la Méditerranée, toute l'Europe du Sud, dans plein de domaines différents, venir parler, se rencontrer.
El Mediterráneo a veces puede ser muy caótico, pero también sabemos ser empáticos con los demás y a partir de la empatía también llegar a un común entendimiento acerca de cosas muy difíciles, a lo mejor muy complejas, como puede ser el contenido de estos proyectos que es muy científico.
I am Lebanese.
I am Greek.
But anyway, we believe in one Mediterranean.
Okay. I think the main idea and work packages were born in this
yes,
hotel.
Yes, they were born in Vilnius. So it's the
cafe,
Vilnius MED.
In the cafe of hotel, something I don't remember.
Exactly.
When the fishermen go out in the Mediterranean for fishing, they have one song. You know what is that? Oh, dirla da dirla da 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 la dirla da da.
È stata un'esperienza entusiasmante anche per il livello di rapporto che si è instaurato fra i partners che stanno già pensando di proporre un'evoluzione del progetto MED nella prossima programmazione.
It's a very complex ecosystem, the Mediterranean, and it involves countries with different political systems, with different environments, different legislations. It is very challenging to try to integrate different sectors and different backgrounds towards sustainability.
Riteniamo che veramente il Mediterraneo può rappresentare per il mondo una grande occasione di conoscenza dell'uomo.
In the framework of the project Common Cap MarInA-Med, we organize 5 capitalization seminars to connect all the stakeholders related to specific maritime issues. They were also the occasion to open a specific workshop or consultation.
MarInA-Med, the meeting on fisheries, was a very important platform for us to be able to have this common understanding between stakeholders and rather the research that we were developing to validate these results.
We split all the participants between several round tables. For each driver we identify, so we identify 6 drivers in MED project.
I was the moderator of the group about climate change and urbanization. It was interesting because we managed to couple these 2 drivers and we managed to come up with interesting ideas on how to proceed from now on.
So now in this room we're holding the MED Trends Advisory Committee meeting. So we're having a number of regional stakeholders around the table, and we also have actually stakeholders attending via video conference. And basically we are discussing today the methodology of the project and getting inputs from different stakeholders.
Quite an interesting roundtable because we have the opportunity to put together not only the maritime projects and talk about the goals that MED Trends is working on during this year.
We organize a consultation with stakeholders present at this meeting today in order to get some feedback about some fact sheets we elaborated. Just a few topics which were the maritime transport and also the marine protected areas.
On a demandé aux participants de faire des groupes de discussion et de travailler sur 2 fact sheets puisqu'on a élaboré une sur la région adriatique-ionienne et une sur la région Méditerranée occidentale.
The main point about this work was trying to assess the effectiveness of marine protected areas, which is a response measure to marine environmental degradation, and trying to link it with one of the or several pressures that come from a driver, which is maritime transport.
The feedback we get now can only partly be included into our outputs in terms of producing new information, but can be included in our recommendations.
I think in some inputs we had to really go very much in detail, in others it was less. So everything had different grade of maturity. That was the interest in it. We had so many reactions with stakeholders, we had so many validations as well that, okay, yes, I mean, this is for the time being the best thing that could happen. Or in others, yes, there are some initiatives, but we cannot access to the data. So it was always like a continuous consultation.
Per mi la clau principal en aquest projecte que hem fet com a primera experiència en el marc del programa MED, la clau és integrar. Integrar és una feina que no és evident que tothom vulgui fer, és a dir, no tothom vol compartir resultats, tothom vol compartir dades amb les quals es treballen. Per tant, jo crec que és una feina de promoure la confiança entre diferents stakeholders.
Now we are doing the Roundtable 3, which we managed to group 9 of the 13 maritime projects to see the complementarities and also the different synergies or some contradictions among them in order to have a common recommendation for the final conference. We have taken the example of the tourism sector because it's one of the sectors that is more transversal.
It was really interesting to listen to the answers of the different projects. Environmental asset is very, very important for tourism, but we have a problem of how to mitigate the effect of tourism regarding the environmental capital. We should for sure evaluate the cost and the effectiveness of the touristic activity regarding the other sectors and try to find how to monitor the touristic activities and how to connect it with other sectors to have a better governance of the maritime policies.
que surgiera un solo proyecto con COMCAP, MarInA-Med, era importante porque podía extraer aquellas cosas comunes más importantes de todos los proyectos, de tal manera de poder presentar, ¿no?, un conjunto de recomendaciones de manera global y común de todos los proyectos.
Hello everyone. You see here we have a lot of people now. We have the representatives of all projects. I will only introduce the people in the middle. We have Klaas de Boer from the European Parliament, José Luis Carneiro of the Committee of the Regions, Miriam Leuchner from the Union of the Mediterranean, and again Andrea Mairati from DG Regio. So basically our idea was trying to get on stage the different type of policymakers that we have been addressing during the life of the project and that should be addressed also for the future. This interaction between the projects and the policy managers, the people who's managing instruments, etc., is essential. Without this, the projects are incomplete. We will have 3 blocks: environment, economy, governance. We will put some direct questions to some projects for every topic. So I will have the first question for MED trends. And do you think that these impacts may threaten the maritime protected areas, MPAs?
MPAs, that is marine protected areas, are just one way to protect the biodiversity, but biodiversity is everywhere.
The Mediterranean is a very under pressure area. Most of the activities happening in the Mediterranean do not start to develop sustainable practice. That means that we are promoting blue growth on a context that is already under pressure and where we did not start to solve the issues that are already happened. So the result of that is that we'll not be able to reach the good environmental status. And so I think that we have to develop a new concept. Human beings have to understand what is limitation.
So I would like to make a question to smart ports. How do you think that the research and innovation could contribute to reduce the environmental impact of the human activities in the ports?
Nosotros, si tuviéramos que destacar algo, sería que gestionando la energía de forma más eficiente estamos influyendo en una gestión medioambiental más eficiente y estamos haciendo nuestros puertos más sostenibles. Y antes de hablar de energías azules y de cosas así, es saber qué, cómo y cuándo estamos generando esa energía, qué nos está costando generarla, qué deficiencias hallamos para poder atacar esos puntos clave.
¿Hay algún puerto en la sala? Yes, we have a port.
Los temas de formación y en el estudio que habéis hecho, ¿qué importancia tiene?
Formación es una actividad que se ha propuesto porque hemos advertido que en muchos casos la mano de obra que existía no estaba lo suficientemente cualificada para abordar ciertos temas.
Fisheries is about food security, it's about food sovereignty, and it's true that the impacts generated by all the other sectors will be increasing on that single sector.
We need to shift definitely from a system based on production, which means more catch, more economic benefit, to a system in which is reducing the threat to the environment but increase economic benefit. And we have seen that this is possible, and this is one of the things that we want to promote.
I would like to make 4 remarks. I mean, the first thing is that, what we have heard shows that we need to enhance evidence-based policy making and cross-cutting policy tools like integrated spatial planning, integrated coastal zone management, and so forth. So this shows that we have to work a cross-sectoral approach. This integrated approach should be mainstream. All the tools that you have been developing are very much needed.
We wanted a very interactive debate. I think that we achieved having a very alive debate. I think we all deserve first a glass of wine.